A lot of us think that somehow we're behind in life, that if we make a significant change in life, that would somehow put us back. Even though we know, or perhaps we feel it in our core being, that we're not on the right path, we're so afraid to make a change, especially if those changes involve significant changes for our life and significant risk, that it will set us back by a lot. But this can be further from the truth. When I came to US, I was 22 and a half, I think, and I almost was I was finishing my third year of college in my country. And when I came here to US, I had to start from the beginning. I had to start the college from year one. It was almost as if I've never went to college. So I was going to college with a couple of years younger kids. And I always felt so out of it. I felt so behind. But then because I was going to school at night and working during the day in my field, when I finished school, I was ahead of everyone because I had the experience that they didn't have. Fast forward to a couple of years, because I was working hard and going to school, it took me a little bit longer to finish school. So I finally finished school at 32. And at that time, I thought, well, now I'm behind again because I don't have a relationship and I don't have a family and kids, and I should be by now. I should have had this already at 25, 27. I'm too old. And then my career started taking off, and then I focused on that. And then I was like, well, I'm definitely, it felt like there was a choice to be made. Do I focus on the career? Do I focus on this? And like it couldn't be both. My career started to take off. And 10 years later, last year, at 42, after a couple of years of going back and forth, figuring out what to do, how to make this change less impactful on me, less negatively impactful to my life, I started to try to make smart moves. How do I get out of finance? Because I knew that wasn't what was going to be my life path. It was meant to serve a purpose for the time being here. And I knew that intuitively. And so how do you think I felt? How behind I felt when I left the career that I was building for 20 years at 42 last year? It felt horrible. I felt so behind. I felt like I totally lost track in this life. I completely took a completely wrong path, and I was on that wrong path for 20 years, and now I'm back to square zero. And I'm back to not even actually didn't even know what I was back to, because I had no idea what I was going to go into, and what my next direction is going to be. And I just felt so lost. I felt so sad, and I felt so desperate. And no family, no kids, no career, no anything that I thought was that I needed to do based on my own thoughts, based on society, whatever. But my question is to you, when you think about your path, and when you think about where you are in life, and when you think about I am behind, I want you to ask yourself a question: behind who? Behind your friends? Behind where your family thinks you should be? Your parents think you should be? Behind what the society pressures are on you, and cultural pressures and expectations? Or even behind your own thoughts and belief system about where you should be? But I want to remind you that none of those may be true for your path. In reality, you're not behind on anything, and you're never really behind. You're always on the right path, and you're always at the exact moment where you should be in life. And there's something that I need to discuss this, that we need to differentiate, because a lot of us also think on the extreme side of things. You can think two different ways, which is what I was controlling my life. I was always in control. I was always trying to control how the path for me is going to be, by which date I need to have this or whatever. And so at 42, when I left everything, when I finally released and let go of everything that didn't serve my soul anymore, I felt behind still, because I lost control. But on the other side of the spectrum is also the extreme, that is also not the right way of thinking, and that is that we submit to this divine presence and control, and God's hand, or the universe's hand, in our life. And that also leads to spiritual determinism, which is that we just have to succumb to the unalterable fate of our life. And that is also not the right view, because there are karmic lessons and karmic reasons why some things happen in your life. But there is always free will. And there will be, in your life, in my life, in everyone's life, there will be the adversity and the events that really feel like there is someone's hand in our life, and everything is not going the right way, or our way, or how we think our life should go, and it's just not happening. And why is this not happening for me, when I was doing all of the right things for it to be happening? But so in the universal energetic flow of things, there are instances and opportunities for change, and they may involve huge risks. For me, leaving my career of 20 years was a huge risk and a challenge that I was facing. But you always have free will. In my own life, I could have stayed on that path. I chose not to. That's free will. There is an opportunity, and there have been opportunities in your life also, to exercise free will and to take these huge risks in your life to change your life. If you're feeling unfulfilled, if you're feeling unhappy, if you feel like your soul purpose is you're not living in your soul purpose, you can make those changes. If there wasn't that, let's think about that. If there wasn't free will, then it would seem that we're these creatures just living, and there's no purpose for all of our struggles. There's no justice or purpose for our struggles. We're simply following God's hand in everything. But that takes away the fact that you do have a free will. There is always various different paths you can take, and every one that you take is the right one, because you exercise that free will and you made a choice. At the end of the day, it is your choice that makes your path, and it is your path. It's no one else. There is no one to compare yourself to. There is no one way that the entire society needs to go through life, and how to go through life. And you don't have to adhere to the cultural, societal pressures, or the pressures of your peers or your family or whoever. You only know what is your path. No one else, nobody in this world knows. Only your soul knows the path that needs to go through, and the path that it needs to live through, to learn those lessons that it needs to learn. So karmic lessons don't mean that we're just caught up in events over which we absolutely have no control. There is a cause and effect in the universe, but there is no such thing as our life is taken over by God's hand, or by some divine intervention. There is a cause and effect in the universe, and we do have karmic lessons and responsibilities in this life. But it is your free will and your choice in this life, and you're never on the wrong path. And the only master of your life and your destiny is you. Thank you, my friend. See you soon.